So I've written a book. I never set out to write a book. I don't know if you read the media and the Huffington Post and all that stuff. I got married, and about a year ago, to a lady, because I'm a gay. I'm on a hit television show that you heard about called BEA. So, and I turned 50. And I have a daughter. And I'm building a house. And I'm financially secure for the first time in my life. And so I was walking up Runyon Canyon with my wife, and it's this wonderful, beautiful hike in Los Angeles. And, you know, as we were courting each other, we told each other the story of our life, and I started telling her, basically, I have been go, go, go since I was about 10 years old. I have not stopped to reflect on my life, although I am a navel gazer. I'm into the goddess stuff. I'm into all the spiritual stuff. I'm into astrology. I'm into all this, trying to make sense of my universe, because I'm one of those people who likes rules and likes formulas and wants to know exactly what the path is to success. And if I can get it through a tarot card or an astrological reading, that's great. And my wife is not like that at all. She's a scientist, and she's grounded in fact and reality. So she was laughing at me and said, "You have to write a book about this." When I was a kid, I was filled with anxiety because I knew exactly what I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to be an actress from right out of the chute. When I say the chute, I mean my mother's vagina. So I had that blessing / curse of knowing exactly what you want to do with your life. So you have a single-minded focus, but you also will not settle. And I had this fear of the parade passing me by. On top of that, at around 12 years old, I hung out with these girls, they're Isaacson twins, and they, although I call them the Stevenson twins in the books, whoops, they go to South Florida for spring break. We're about 12 years old, and they said, you know, sometimes men hold hands walking down the beach and they're gay. They said it like it was a disease. And I thought, oh my God, I have that disease. I have that curse. I have the girl version of that. So on top of feeling like I didn't belong in my family, I mean, I had a loving, wonderful Irish Catholic family, I always felt outside of it. Put on top of that I'm gay. I want to be an actress, which of course my parents think is insane. And one of the things I write about in the book is I was a big fan of the Brady Bunch. In a happy accident of fate, I would perform the Brady Bunch in about 30 years, like the real live Brady Bunch version of it. But I loved that show. I wanted to be in that family. I wanted to be on that show, so I saw who cast the show, and I wrote them a letter saying, I want to be on the Brady Bunch. And I got a return letter saying, you know, basically saying, you know, we don't cultivate talent, and, you know, if you grow up and you study and you want to be an actor, maybe we'll think. It was basically telling me to forget about it, but I saw it as like this wonderful thing that I got a letter from Universal Studios, from ABC, and my mother said, what are you doing? And I said, I'm writing letters to casting agents because I want to be an actress. And she said, you know, honey, not everybody can do what they want to do. And I burst into tears. It was as if she told me that my life could not go on, my plan for myself. So that was a big deal for me, and so when I started writing this book, I looked back at those moments. And I remember that passion that I had as a kid, and I wanted to, if I could go back in time, what would I say to that kid? And I think the discoveries that I made for myself are worth sharing, which is why I wrote the book. I would say to my younger version of myself to just relax and trust your life, because that is the conclusion that I've come to in these 50 years. And as I'm walking up Runyon Canyon with my wife, I realized that my life has taken care of me. And what I did correctly is that I stayed open and said yes to almost everything in my life. And some things maybe I should have left on the wayside. I have an agent who said, Jane will do anything for $1.50 in a steak. And it's true. I did. Because I didn't feel myself unless I was with a group of people, and not as a star. I never really wanted to be a star. I wanted to feel part of a group and to feel valued for who I was. And now I'm doing this show called BEA. And it's about these kids who are unique in their own way, but in this you know, vicious high school hierarchy, they get slushies in their face for it every day. But they come together and they raise their voice in song, and that's exactly what I was looking for as a kid. So I was talking to someone backstage about Glee, and he was saying how his kids are like religious about it. And I think the thing that draws people to that show, and I wish we had a show like that when I was growing up, and I wish we all had this type of show when we were growing up. It's a place where you can go where you feel at home, where everybody loves you for your differences. We have a kid in a wheelchair, we have a kid with Down syndrome, we have, you know, the Hispanic kid, we have the bad boy, we have the cheerleader, we have the adopted Asian Jewish person. You know, you have somebody to relate to in Glee. And that's exactly what my life was a search for, was to be a part of a group. That's why I love doing ensembles. That's why I love that I'm the unofficial Christopher Guest ensemble. And this whole kind of comedy ensemble thing that's going on, the movies these days that they're making, they're all about the best joke wins, and it's about being part of a group and celebrating each other's differences. And, you know, I feel like I was born at the right time. And I have been very, very lucky to find my place in the world. And with that, I'd love to open it up for questions about the book or about anything that you'd like to talk about. Anybody have any questions? Yes? Yeah? Oh, yes. Talk about the episode in Glee where my sister died. And people have asked, did Robin Trompe? She's still with us. She didn't die, but yes. And I love that show because she humanizes Sue Sylvester so much. I love that episode. Sue's obviously very angry about something. And, you know, as I was growing up, I talk about this in the book, I was rather insufferable, and I was frustrated that no one saw my genius, and I would lash out in the way that Sue Sylvester does. And one of the most profound moments of my life when my work went from being just kind of goofing around to actually being something deep and resonant was when I got in touch with that anger inside of me. And I think that an early incarnation of Sue Sylvester was the woman in The Store Manager and 40-Year-Old Virgin. The character I did in The L Word, these are people who kind of have that bubbling rage underneath there, and the great thing about Sue Sylvester is she's a culmination of all that stuff, and she just kind of is out there unashamed in a kind of an explosive rage way. But what I love what the writers did is they really humanized her with this very vulnerable sister that she's been trying to protect, and you understand why she's so pissed off. Yes?
Could you explain the title? Your title?
Happy Accidents, yeah. I think I first came across the phrase happy accidents, and I love it. It's one of my favorite. It explains anything away. Oh, that was just a happy accident. I think it was in the 12th night, I believe Malvolio says, oh, happy accident, when he finds a letter, a love letter that he thinks is for him. In my life, I've had like this, what I thought was my trajectory. I really wanted to be a dramatic actress. I studied at Cornell. I was in the professional actor training program there, and I had these visions of myself as, you know, probably the comic character, but in kind of straight dramas, and that's what I thought I wanted to do. And in a happy accident of fate, I sent out a bunch of resumes when I was living in Chicago to like the Goodman Theater, the Steppenwolf Theater, Victory Gardens, all these places that do straight plays. And I also sent one to Second City, and they actually asked me in for an audition. And out of about 100 women, I was cast in the touring company, and I really didn't understand why, because I found improvisation very unsettling. I like rules, you know. Being in an improv is like jumping off a cliff. You never know what's going to happen. And they obviously saw something in me that I didn't know, and it turns out that being in sketch comedy and being a part of an ensemble is absolutely right for my skill set, you know, and I'm very happy in that. And it's kind of led to this wonderful career that I have now, where I get to be part of these wonderful ensembles. So that's what I mean by happy accidents. And also, I kind of don't believe in accidents, really, so it's kind of I use it kind of ironically. I really believe that it's my life protecting me and kind of taking me where I need to go next, and I find myself in a place and go, I had no idea this is where I'm supposed to be, but I can see now how this has served me. Yes?
I have a microphone.
Thank you.
When you first saw the character Sue Sylvester, what was your initial reaction to it? Was it, wow, this is going to change my life, or you got to be kidding?
It was, and I was committed to do another pilot, so I had to do the pilot as a guest star. And I took that other pilot that was a very mediocre pilot because I was kind of hard up for work. And I thought, oh dear God, did I blow my chance to be in this terrific show and play this role every week by, trying to just fill up my time and work on something that really wasn't that great. Anyway, the first thing that it said in the script about Sue Sylvester is that Sue Sylvester may or may not have posed for Penthouse, and she may or may not be on horse estrogen. That set up Sue Sylvester for me. I was like, I gotta play this lady. She's extreme, she'll do anything to win, she's a warrior, and when we were doing the pilot, one of the first things I do is the scenes that we shot was when I come in with lattes very magnanimously for all the teachers because I've cut the coffee budget because I wanted to get my Cheerios dry cleaning done in France. And I bring in lattes for everyone and they say, well, how do you like your lattes? And she said, scalding. And we set it up from there that everything Sue Sylvester does is extreme. And I love it. It's so much fun. Yes.
Is there another Christopher Guest project in the works?
I wish. Yes, if there's another Christopher Guest project in the works. I had lunch with him like 2 weeks ago, and in the middle of the lunch he said, oh, by the way, I didn't ask you to lunch because I have an idea. So I promptly got up and left. Yes. Hey, Aaron, how you doing? You know, Sue Sylvester is running for Congress. I don't know if you saw the second to last episode. The Sue Sylvester American Liberty Party, and I think that's what's going on. I think she's going to take her sights off the Glee Club for now, and she's going to be running for Congress. And I hope she'll still be wearing red, white, and blue tracksuits. I hope they don't change my word. Yes.
In the show, you've had to sing a couple of times, and I wondered if you were a confident singer or if it was a challenge for you.
Am I what?
A confident singer.
Confident singer. I sing all day long. That doesn't mean that I'm good or that people enjoy it. I love to sing. And I got to do Physical with Olivia Newton-John, who I had a huge crush on as a kid. And I got to sing Vogue, Madonna's Vogue. And I knew that video. I got drunk in bars all over Chicago watching the Vogue video. And I sang harmony in Carol Burnett's Why Oh Why Did I Ever Leave Ohio? And she plays my mother, the Nazi hunting mother in Glee. And she also wrote the foreword for this book. So she's become a friend, and you know, I say in the book, like in the first 2 pages, that the Carol Burnett show, oh, it almost hurt to watch it. I wanted to be a part of it so much. It looked like they were having so much fun, and you know, here in middle age, I get to work with her and become friends with her. She's playing my mother, and she's an amazing lady. Yes.
Hi, I just saw the commercial you did with the actress who plays Becky, and yes. I just want to say thank you. I thought it was wonderful.
Thank you. That's Lauren. She's a doll. She's a sweetheart, and her mother, Lauren's mother, she's changing the world with her advocacy for kids who are mentally challenged, and especially kids with Downs. She's amazing. Yes.
I was just wondering what you look for in a project, like things like Party Down, and we have this kind of humor that obviously is super appealing to me. And I'm wondering like what it is that you see that pops out that you know it's going to have that kind of like specific comedic gene.
Well, I never know if a project that is offered to me or that I go for is going to be that special thing. But when I'm in a position to choose, which lately I am, it's what's to eat, number one. Like we did Party Down for $100 and you know really good food, but you know it's who's in it most of all. I mean I did a show called Love Spring International, and if you were to read the script, you would go, oh my God, why would anybody want to be part of this? And the reason I did is because of the people. Guy Shalem is such a wonderful director and editor, and anything that Paul Rudd handed me, Party Down, and role models. So you know there's kind of this ensemble comedy group of people, and we all, if we don't know each other, we know someone who knows you. And if I know that it's going to be that, you know, I'm up for it. I'm on top of it. Yes. I'm sorry. And did you say 5 minutes? Okay. Yes. I'm sorry. I'll just check my email.
as Faith Hill on Saturday Night Live when you did the Sunday night.
Say that again, what's that?
I loved you as Faith Hill on Saturday Night Live when you did Is there any person you'd like to portray in a movie, like a historical or famous figure that you haven't had a chance to yet?
Oh, that's a good question. Is there anybody historical that I would, yeah, Roosevelt, actually, what was the name of her lover? Maybe what was that woman's name? Who was she was almost a man. She like smoked, she smoked cigars, and she was a journalist. She hung out with the guys. She was pretty amazing. I can't think of her name. Hickok. I would love to play her. I'd love to play, that with somebody else playing Roosevelt. Or maybe I'd play both of them. You know what? Let me read you my epilogue, so you can get a little taste of this book. I had so much fun writing this book. I didn't. I was almost bleeding from my ears writing this. My wife Laura is basically my co-writer on this. She made my run-on sentences. Just the way I talk is the way I write. So you can imagine what a mess it was. And she, I'm so thrilled with it. And every time we finished a chapter, we just felt so good. And the Hyperion people have just been wonderful. And hopefully I'll find this epilogue now. Oh, okay, here we go. It's not long. Okay. I have to think that anyone who told that younger version of me who wrote letters to those Hollywood casting agents from her dining room table in Dalton, Illinois, that I would one day be on a hit television show, working with Carol Burnett, no less, I probably would have believed every word of it. I was practically delusional back then. Or maybe I was just prescient. Either way, I knew what I wanted, and almost in spite of myself, I got it. What I did right was to be uber prepared and ready to pounce. After I'd walked away from The Ugly Duckling my freshman year in high school, I quit the first play I was in. I would never let fear overtake me again. I grabbed at almost every opportunity, maybe even some I should have left by the wayside. I went full pelt, balls out, never coming up for air for a good bunch of years. I don't know if this would work for everyone, but it worked for me. While I was all go, 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 anxiously looking for the recipe for success, hoping for someone to hand me the keys to the kingdom, Providence was able to sneak in and lead me exactly where I needed to be next. In this way, my life really has been a series of happy accidents. I became an actress at the Second City after being picked out of a large group that I wasn't even keen on doing. I ran into Chris Guest in a coffee shop and was cast in Best in Show by the end of the day. Steve Carell's wife told me he had too many guys in his movie, and I got to do the 40-year-old virgin and meet a great group of people. The mediocre pilot I was committed to failed, and I was released to do Glee. I could go on, and I do. I would love to be able to go back and tell that young girl sitting at that table, pen in hand, to trust herself in the world. I'd tell her, you don't have to drink. I'm an alcoholic. I didn't get to that. Sober 20 years. You don't have to be anxious. Thank you. You just have to be you and everything will be fine. Today I can say that I finally trust and have faith in my life. I would never presume to give anyone advice on how to walk their own path, as I have no desire to deprive anyone of their unique journey. As you can see, my own has been customized to fit my needs and my particular brand of humanness. But I will offer this in the way of counsel, and I defer to the wisdom of Carol Brady when I do. Find what it is you do best, and do your best with it.